Welcome back, Math 2. Today we're going to talk about how to graph these quadratics and parabolas when the equation is in standard form. So reminder that standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. And our basic steps here, we want to graph the y-intercept. That is an easy point to find in standard form. Then we also want to graph the vertex. Okay. And remember, the vertex is always in the exact center of the parabola, and everything else on either side is symmetrical. So once we have the vertex and one other point, we're going to reflect that point or that y-intercept over the vertex. Okay. So let's start with this first problem here. I've got my equation in standard form. We're going to start with the y-intercept, which remember, if I plug in 0, so this is for finding the y-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 in for x. Okay, so I have y equals 3 times 0 squared minus 4 times 0 minus 2. And remember, that'll just cancel out anything with a 0 attached to it. And I will get negative 2. So I'm at 0, negative 2. Graph that point in red so I can see it. It's right here. Okay. Now I want to go through and find my vertex, and I need to write a little bit smaller. Okay, or actually, hopefully you have enough room, but I'm going to erase a little bit of my work here so that I can fit this in. Again, this is just so I have enough room to write because I didn't leave myself enough room. Okay. So for my vertex, to find my x-coordinate, I'm going to use negative b over 2a, and then I'm going to plug that back in to get y. Okay. So up here, negative 4 is my b, and 3 is my a. So I might end up with a fraction. That's okay. So b is already negative, so that means it's going to be a positive 4 over 2 times 3, which is 6. I'm going to reduce this to 2/3. Okay, so that's part of my vertex, 2/3. And now I'm going to plug that back into the equation and solve for y. Okay, now we might get some fractions or some decimals. That's okay. We're going to do a lot of estimating here, okay, with the graph. Okay, now again, you can type all of this straight into your calculator at once. Otherwise, in individual pieces, this should come out to be 4/3 or 1 1/3 or 1.33, however you want to put it. Okay. This will come out to be negative 8/3 minus 2. So if I combine these, 4 minus 8 is negative 4. So we have negative 4/3 minus 2 equals negative 3 1/3 or negative 10/3, however you want to put it. And I mean, decimals aren't bad, but with thirds, it's pretty easy to judge. Okay, so I'm going to graph that point, 2/3, negative 3 1/3. Oops, what just happened? Go away. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this, okay? Because this is going to be really close. I'm actually going to do the vertex in blue. 2/3 is about here, and I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and a little more. Okay. Excuse me. Now, this probably wasn't the best graph to start with necessarily, but if I imagine that this is where my vertex is, okay, remember this is the exact center of the graph. So this point, my y-intercept here, there should be an exact point flipped over, reflected over this line. So if I think it's about 2/3 away on the left, it'll be 2/3 away on the right, which will put it about here. I'm going to go ahead and make this other point a little smaller. Oh my goodness, why can't I erase? There we go. Come on. Okay. So it's very small and narrow, but there is my equation, my graph. I'll zoom out. Okay. Sorry. Let's try another one. This one will hopefully look a little bit better. Okay. So f of x equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. Remember, this number on the end is my y-intercept. 0, 1. It's right there. And I'm going to use negative b over 2a to do my vertex. So b is 2, so I'm going to have negative 2 over 2 times a, which is 1. So I really have negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. That's the first part of my coordinate. Now I'm going to plug that back in. So I'm going to have negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 plus 1. If I simplify this, negative 1 squared becomes positive 1 minus 2 plus 1, which should come out to, whoops. Yeah, just comes out to 0. Okay, so we're at negative 1, 0. So that is this point right here. Okay. Remember, that vertex is where the exact middle of my graph is, or my parabola. So I'm going to take my y-intercept. It's 1 away from that center. So there's a point exactly 1 away on the other side. And I can graph my parabola through that.